Long before the first colonial soldiers marched deep into Africa, there was a man who claimed he could see the future, a prophet, a leader, and a voice that warned his people of the storm that was coming. His name was Koitalel Arap Samoei, the great seer of the Nandi people in what is today Kenya. Koitalel was no ordinary leader. From a young age, he was said to have visions of strangers with pale skin, armed with strange weapons, cutting through the land like locusts. He spoke of iron snakes that would crawl across the soil, spitting fire and smoke. His people didn't understand then, but years later, the iron snake appeared. It was the railway. The prophecy was real. As the British Empire expanded, they sought to push through Nandi lands with their railroad. To them, it was progress. But to the Nandi, it was invasion. Koitalel had already warned his people that this snake would bring suffering, death, and slavery. He called for resistance. For over 10 years, the Nandi fought one of the fiercest guerrilla wars in African history. They ambushed soldiers, attacked railway camps, and destroyed bridges. Each time, they seemed unstoppable, guided by their prophet's visions. Koitalel had become more than a leader. To his people, he was a symbol of destiny, a voice of the gods themselves. But power attracts betrayal. The British, desperate to end the resistance, devised a plan. They invited Koitalel to a peace meeting. A handshake, they promised, would mark the beginning of peace. But hidden behind that handshake was treachery. On that day in 1905, as Koitalel extended his hand in trust, a British officer pulled out a pistol and shot him dead. The prophet who saw colonization before it happened was silenced by the very colonizers he had warned about. But even in death, his prophecy lived on. Everything he foretold came true. The land was taken, the people were oppressed, and the iron snake cut across Africa's heart. Yet his name remains alive. To the Nandi and to all of Africa, Koitalel Arap Samoei is remembered not as a defeated man but as a prophet whose voice still echoes through time. And perhaps, in some way, his prophecy was not only about his people, but for the whole of Africa. A warning of what was to come, and a reminder that even in the face of betrayal, truth cannot be silenced. This is the story of Koitalel the prophet, who saw colonization before it happened. Subscribe to Dark Africa Files for more stories history tried to erase.